Welcome to the Tiny Word Project, episode 8. Today's episode is with Scott Madden.
We discussed with Scott how he has successfully created 2 businesses, one being a personal training business, body movement, and also starting his business called Bowlarama that has now got 2 shops in under 10 months.
Driven was Scott's word, so listen on to see why he talks about driven. Enjoy.
So much for joining us on the Tiny Word Project podcast. It's an honor, pleasure. How are you doing today, man?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Just come back from the beach, bro. Had a little swim. Yeah, things are good, man.
Very nice. Very
beautiful day today.
It is a beautiful day today.
What day are we at today? 21st.
As some people that are watching this, people at home that are listening, you probably can't see, but we actually had recorded a few podcasts in one day as we're still wearing the same shirts as we did for the past 2 podcasts. So still to the 21st of April. We're not going anywhere just yet, but Scott, it is the hot topic. It is what's been happening at the moment is this isolation vacation, this coronavirus lockdown. We know you personally, but the people at home that are listening, watching, might not know who you are personally. Could you just give us a brief description of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, man. So, this is pretty much my first podcast. This is my first time I've ever been in a podcast. I've never really kind of openly spoke about, anything like this. So, we'll just see how we go with it, huh?
Yeah, let's have some fun.
Man, so, bro. So, Scott, I've been on the coast my whole life, man. I've got a couple of businesses that I run on the Central Coast and, just currently just cruising through, just laying low with this whole COVID things and just looking for a bit of opportunity at the moment, but staying positive with everything, bro, for sure.
That's sick. What are those businesses that you run? Like, of course, we know what you do. So,
So I've owned a gym in Kincumber called Body Movement, and then I own a smoothie bowl business with my partner Elle. So that's called Bowlarama.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and hats off to you for what you guys have done it for both businesses, but for Bowlarama, man, it's gone crazy, eh? Crazy.
Yeah, man. It was it's just we're currently coming up. I think we've been operating now for 10 months. I've been operating the gym for about 5 years now. Bowlarama is pretty fresh, yeah.
And it's sick. And for the people that haven't checked it out, go check that out on social media. It's so good. It's so good.
It's crazy to see that market recently. I feel like it's only somewhat recently that whole smoothie bowl thing has like really taken off. Did you find that when you guys started that there was much other competition or much else to sort of base your business off, or was it all pretty new around that time?
It was fairly fresh that the time we started looking into it. So we probably looked into the smoothie bowls maybe a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And so my gym at Kincumber, it's about 400 square meters. And then I had this kind of little pocket at the front of the gym, and it was about 30 square meters. And just one day, previously before that, I used to make smoothie bowls for dessert and things like that. So basically, instead of having ice cream and all that, I'd have, a smoothie bowl. But and then that's where we found our love for it. Same with my partner. She's all into the smoothie bowls and eating them for, replacing bad food with the smoothie bowls, ice cream, all that kind of jazz. And then, I just had this 30 square meter pocket, a space in the front of my gym, and decided to have a crack at it. So we were fairly passionate about, the taste of the bowls and things like that. So we thought we may well make it into a business and, see how we go from there.
You've done so well, man. So impressive. As you said, take our hats off to what you've done. Let's talk about your body movement, man. Like your personal training, your fitness world. Of course, current times has kind of hindered the progression or the movement of what you guys do. You can't have group training happening. How have you kind of dealt with that, and has it put a bit of a strain on yourself personally or the business, or what's going on?
Yeah, so I'm probably down. Probably lost about maybe 60% of my income. So,
wow.
It's not. It's definitely the hardest we've been hit. But in saying that, there's definitely opportunity to be had out of these situations. And I guess I'm kind of used to this kind of feeling. So I kind of grew up with nothing and started, I've started businesses from nothing. And so this feeling that I'm currently going through right now is nothing really different to what I've been through previously. So it's just more of a setback. So, you know, if I've had these goals to accomplish in 2020 and 2021 and all that jazz, but all it's done is just kind of push me back a little bit. That's what's kind of happened. So, but other than, you know, I'm not stressed out about it or anything like that. It's just put a few things on hold for me. That's for sure.
Have you guys implemented any like new things with the business to try and sort of keep up with what's going on, or?
Yeah, so like every other gym, man, we've gone online to keep our members ticking over, to keep everyone healthy and all that jazz. Personally, at the moment, I'm focusing on just building a bit of resilience. So I'm kind of jumping online with everyone and doing it daily, but more so for myself as well, you know. So for me to wake up at 5 a.m., that keeps me into a daily routine where I feel a lot of people, especially business owners, when you're kind of going through these situations, it's easy to fall out of a routine, and then you kind of go down a bit of a whirlwind of like, what do I do now? How do I do this? So then when businesses do come back live, you know, you want to be on your feet. You don't want to be a bit rattled and coming off the back end of what's just happened. So these live sessions are for my members, but personally they're for myself as well, just to keep my head in check and to keep me chipping away.
Yeah, definitely. I think you definitely got to try and keep busy and keep moving forward, because I think it's very easy to just stop and be left behind. So
definitely.
Yeah, I started up another little side kind of business. It was just these like kind of bars. So they're like weight bars. So
yeah, that's looking cool. I've seen that. Have you seen that on socials?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Really like the innovation. Oh, I need to work on that word, because I feel like I'm going to say innovation, inventory. Oh, I don't know. It's really inspiring to see it, like innovating with that kind of moving into that, and it's really inspiring, man. Really cool. And it's the people that we've had on. I hope for the people that are listening, people that are watching, it is providing so much value to see what these other businesses are doing to stay alive, to keep moving forward. And what you're doing there with those bars, man, it's really cool. So like, just dive into that a little bit more. Like, what are your plans with that? Are you having a bit of fun with it, or got some bigger plans for it?
Yeah, it's just having a bit of fun with it. So basically everything that I've kind of I've just decided to start, or businesses and things like that, have just purely been out of fun, but also just to learn from it. So, you know, these bars are just a bit of a learning curve for me, like how they're all kind of designed and how they're kind of created and how they sell. So it's just, for me, it's just to help obviously keep my head above water, but to also learn about it as well. So it's kind of the same as going from like the gym to hospitality. It's just an interesting thing to kind of learn about and to dive into, and just to see how it all plays out. It was funny. I used to want to, like, my goal, I don't know why, but for some reason I wanted to own a nightclub. So I don't know, just had this vision, like, you know, maybe when I'm 40 years old, I'll just run this like low key bar or something. And then just decided to turn the gym into a nightclub. So we did like a 200 ticket event, and like had all these bands and things like that. So the reason why I'm telling you this is just I'm interested in to see how things work and how they operate as well, and just do things more on the fun side of that, you know. So from that our first one did okay. You know, we might have made like $1,000, and it paid for our DJ equipment and all that kind of stuff. And the second one lost us money, but it wasn't as if I'm like, you know, down and out about it. It was just an awesome experience, and to do it here on the coast, to bring something different to the community, it was good.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose like in the long run, that builds. Nick and I have talked about this before too. Like, it builds a business and it builds more of like a community. Even if you're not making money from it, it's still building something in the long run that's going to get people like talking about the business and get people like more excited for things in the future and that sort of thing too, which is cool.
Yeah, it does. But it also, I feel for me, it just kind of it kind of forces me to do things that I never saw myself doing. And hopefully it sets examples for people to then go, oh, you know what, like if he can do it, I can do it. So,
exactly.
Same with hospitality right now, like never worked behind a till, you know, until 9 months ago when we started the Bowlarama. So a lot of people put self-doubt in themselves and tell themselves that they can't do things, where I want to kind of make an example and show people that, hey, like you can. If I can do it, like you guys can do it. So,
That's it.
yeah.
I think too, like when you're building things out of passion, then it almost creates, it does a lot better, I would say anyway, because you've got the passion behind it rather than being like, oh, I'm just doing this to make money, or because there's a hole in the market, or you didn't see other people going, oh, like making smoothie bowls and go, oh, they're making a lot of money from it, let's give it a go so we can make money. It was sort of like, let's give it a go and see what happens. And I don't think anything bad can ever come from that, because you're doing it as a passion thing and as an enjoyment thing.
You generally give a shit about it.
Yeah. Did you find that building those like businesses have all had, like at their core, have been very similar, or have they all had their own little things here and there that have been a big learning curve?
Man, the first business I started was a lawn mowing business, actually. So like I left school and was mowing lawns, man. So kind of my whole life, just to take you right back, I remember this time so I was like 18 and just sitting in Centrelink. At the time, my parents split up, and I remember me and mum had to go to Centrelink, and we were basically sitting there, and like back then to get your money, you had to go there, and basically they give you a newspaper, and you'd have to go through and like call up jobs. Like even if you hated it, let's say cleaning, you had to call up and then, you know, apply for the job. So each time I was calling up, I was like, oh my God, like I hope they're not looking, I hope they're not looking. And, you know, and then I just never saw myself working for anyone. So basically decided while I was getting that pay come through Centrelink, because at the time no one was really taking anyone on. So it wasn't that I wasn't keen for work. I've always wanted work, but I just wasn't interested in anything that was out there, or the things that I were interested in, I couldn't get. So, at the time I was like, oh, I'll start my own mowing business. So, ran that for 3 years and then, 2 years, sorry. And then from there, decided to go into horticulture, and then did that for like 3 years, and then pretty much just hated it. I just found out I just couldn't work for someone. Mm-hmm. There was just ways that I could see, I don't know. It just wasn't me. It wasn't the right fit for me. And then, that kind of progressed on. But they're all completely different businesses. They've all got their differences 100%. They all operate different. But, it was just kind of use the word before passion. But there's definitely passion, but there's also purpose, you know. Like there's a purpose behind your passion. So, you're passionate, but then what's your purpose behind that? So that's something that I encourage everyone as well, like to find their purpose. They might have a passion, but then what's your purpose behind it as well? And how can you draw more people to get involved? And
I'm sure you can agree with this as well, is once you find that purpose, your passion's going to just fuel that purpose, and that means you're just going to keep going for it, even in times like this, like the shitty times. You're just going to keep driving through. We can relate on that. We found our purpose through this here, and even just the shop and all that kind of stuff, and relating with you and what you do. We can see that you've got your purpose, and with your passion, you're just going to keep pushing forward. You're going to keep finding those ways to keep innovating and moving.
And the enjoyment of building the businesses and that sort of thing too, I really, really find interesting, and I'm sure you can relate to. Like, regardless of what the business is, the process of starting something, building it up, and getting it to a point where it's established and running its thing and people know it, I think that's like a really, really fun part of it. Rather than just being like, I just want to have a business that's making $10 million a year or whatever. It's cool to like get through that process and really build something out of it.
Yeah, well, I guess before people start a business, the first thing that pops into their mind is how much money can you make. You know? So like, if you say to someone, you know, let's start this business, the first thing that comes to their mind is how much money is involved in it. You know, so the way that I've kind of approached it is I never think about how much money it's going to. So when we did Bowlarama, I literally called up I didn't even look at how much a bowl is going to cost to make or how much can be made from this. Like, never once did I look at that. Neither did my partner Elle. Like, we were just like, oh, we got this awesome opportunity to bring something really cool to the coast that people are going to enjoy. And we were just like, okay, well, let's rip in and let's have a crack at it. So from, without looking at the money, you get this kind of purpose again. And rather than having currency exchange, you have like an energy. So like after each day, we're like, shit, we've sold like X amount of bowls up. We've done really well. People coming in, they're stoked. They're coming back going like that. They love this joint. Like, that's much better to us than currency,
Definitely.
It's like, doing this with you boys right now. Like, if you were to say, like, I'd rather have this energy now rather than exchanging currency. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather walk out from this going like, oh, had a mad chat with the boys, it was sick, rather than get paid for it. And then that's going to spark on to me being motivated to do something productive as hell this Savo.
That's cool.
That's kind of the way that I've like worked and encourage everyone to work,
Yeah, I find the exact same thing with cutting hair. Like, I don't care about how much someone's paying for the haircut. If I'm stoked with the haircut and the client's stoked with the haircut at the end, that means and we've had a good chat.
Yeah.
That means more than the money coming into
it's more valuable. Hey?
100%. Yeah.
I think, of course, we might not be all at that stage of being millionaires or whatever, but from the people that are genuine millionaires and have made their wealth and all that kind of stuff, as we're not chasing money, but those wealthier people and those people that are well off, they never really cared too much about the money. They just cared about the value that they gave or the value that they received or anything like that. And then the money followed. Would you agree with that as well?
Yeah, 100%. The money, definitely the money comes. But for me, I think the way, and I'm sure a lot of people high up that are, very wealthy, all the money I make, I reinvest back into my businesses. So yeah. I want to see my businesses evolving, and a lot of people, I think, make the mistake of making money and then spending money on things that they don't exactly need. Straight away, where I'm 5 years into the gym and I'm still spending money on the gym, and it's giving me this fulfillment of being a gym that's completely different on the coast. Like, there's no other gym that's like mine on the Central Coast, and there's no other place like Bowlarama on the Central Coast. The reason why is because every bit of money that's made goes straight back into the business, where I think a lot of people are stuck into, I remember I went through it. It's like, say like you got these stepping stones, people are trying to get to the last one tomorrow. So people are forgetting about the steps in between, and they're going that 0 to 100 without just kind of pacing themselves through day to day, where everyone wants it, tomorrow or next year or in 3 years time. But, the bigger picture isn't, you've got a whole lifetime, I'm looking at the long run, not the short games.
It's so interesting to hear the same thing come from so many people who are already successful and established or along that process. The people who really care about it seem to always say, like, you've got to trust the process and like really plan it out in the long run, rather than just getting those like short little bits of fulfillment from going out and buying a nice car or whatever it may be. And I think that really comes down to, like you were saying, like by investing back into the business, it builds something more. But I think the people who are going out there and spending all that money rather than building it, they're the ones who began wanting it to like prove something to people or to show off. They're not really like focused as much on building a business. They're more focused on, I've made enough money, let's go out and buy a nice car or a boat or whatever to like show off to people and like show people how much money they think I'm making or whatever it may be. I think that sort of, if you're in that position, it sort of has taken the passion out of it because you're more focused on that monetary sort of thing. Whereas for you don't care about how people see you because you'd rather get that fulfillment and enjoyment from building the business and creating those relationships and that sort of thing too, which is really, really cool. I think people really need to like focus on that when they're either building something or trying to go somewhere in life, is like really think about where you want to be and focus on that and really get to that point rather than trying to show off to people or
Yeah, and I think it's also. I remember I was chatting to a friend the other day actually, and he said to me, that he's a tradie and he's gone back to 3 days a week. So he's working 5 to 6 days a week, and they've pulled him back to 3 days a week. And I was like, bro, this is the time for you to work, like start looking at your own operations, like start building for yourself. And he was like, no way, man, like not in this current, not in this COVID going on. Like it was, he basically steered away from it. And I think this is probably the best time to start something. So I feel that like it's like everyone's on just this clean slate, right? So no one's kind of really, everyone's put on the same level right now. You're not really talking to anyone and they're going, oh, I'm killing it. Like I'm full smashing it. Where say 6 months or say 3 months ago, you were talking to people and they're at the top of the game. I know I felt at the top of my game because I was walking into my classes at the gym and we had like 50 people to our classes. Like
crazy.
A day we'd have, over 100 people coming into the gym in and out each day. And for just a small gym that started from nothing, that's a lot for me, So I felt at that, and now everyone's just been stripped back, and now we're all on an even playing field, which I feel now is the perfect time to look at opportunities and to start things that you've always wanted to start and to follow those goals that you've always achieved.
Yeah, because you can definitely even this time use this time to test those things that you've always wanted to do. And if you don't enjoy it, you haven't really lost any time from taking time off work to try something else or whatever it is, whether it's a podcast or looking into a course that you want to do and stuff like that. Bro, let's keep this on a high note. Let's leave this on a high note. Because if the audience loved you and if we want to get you down the track, get you on again, and we can talk about something a little bit more in depth, I think that's going to be a beneficial thing. Let's leave you with what is one word that inspires you that could inspire someone else for the better, and why?
Man, I'm just going to say driven, bro, because I know my whole life I've been fairly driven and focused. The reason why is because, I never really came from anything, and, seeing other people achieve things, it's given me a very driven headspace and mindset to prove to myself that, I can achieve what they can achieve. And I'm sure that hopefully this kind of little chat inspires someone else to go out there and have a crack and, take that jump to start something of their own.
100%. Appreciate that, man. Really honored to have you on again. And where can we find you, bro? Where can we find you on socials? If people want to find out what you're doing, what you're up to, your businesses, all that kind of stuff, what's your tag, man?
People can just jump onto at Scott_Madden_. So MADDEN. And then, the businesses are in my bio as well. So if you go through that, you can just click on there and have a look at it.
Very nice, man. Thank you so much again, bro. We'll speak to you very, very soon.
Thanks. See you, boys.
Cheers, bro.
Bye.